Okay, 2015 Ford Focus Titanium. To remove the boot trim, these handles here have to come off, and that reveals bolts. Once those bolts are undone, there's 4 of them, once the bolts are undone, you can just pull the trim off. For the rear doors, this piece of trim pops out from behind there. You've got a bolt there, and then you've got another one there and there. And to remove this piece here, the easiest way I found is to get a tool like that, slide it up, and then lever, and then do the same at the bottom. It just popped out straight away. Okay, to remove the rear seats, there are 3 of these bolts. I think they're T30s, T35s, something like that. And you just unscrew those. Once those are unscrewed, the seat will just pop out like that. So the seat, the entire seat will just lift up. Once that's up and out of the way, some motorbike helmets in the way here. And then to get the top section of the seat off, it can be quite tricky. But you can see down here there's a connection. And then there's this metal part here, and the way this locks in is that you push it down, so when you get this seat out you can't have any weight on the actual seat. And then I used a hammer and a flathead, and you kind of push the you push that sort of notch that way, which will release that, and then you can just pull up on it. It does take a little bit of work, but to get the boot trim out, you've got to take most of the trim out. It's quite annoying. So to get the boot trim out, at bare minimum, this seal's got to come out. This piece of trim here has to come out. There's just a clip or a screw in there to hold that. I think the seat's has got to come out to do it as well. This here is held in by a pushed, it's like one of them normal car pop screws. They're not screwed in properly. Once that is out, you can go around the back. This is afterwards, so my system is in. But once that bit of trim over there is out, you pull this up, it'll just pop out. Just pull this seal, and then that'll pop out, and you can take all of that out. Once that is out, there is I think it's a T20, and another T20 by there. This will come off easy, that comes off easy, and then you've got to kind of this entire section will just pop off then. It's a little bit of a fiddle to get the seat belt off as well, if that's something you plan on doing. Obviously get rid of the parcel shelf as well. My ground is grounded back in here. There's a bolt for the normal ground in there. Okay, to explain what the diagram is, I'll do it like this. Okay, so I'm going to have my power wire going from the battery down to the footwell, across, and then all the way back into the boot this side. I'm going to have my 2 RCA outputs and my remote turn on going from here down under the footwell and then all the way back down this way into the boot as well. I've then got to do 2 sets of speaker wires from the boot. I'm going to have one going up into the door pillar there, which is going to go into the back door, and then one which will go all the way up to the footwell on the driver's side, up to the harness and then into the front door, and then the same on this side as well. So there's going to be a 40mm squared power wire. There's going to be a fuse block within 12 inches of the battery. There's going to be a fuse. It comes to the boot. There's going to be a distribution block in the boot, which means I can have one main supply all the way at the back, and then I can branch off into 2 different power outlets, because I'm having 2 subwoofers, 2 amplifiers, sorry, 1 subwoofer amplifier, and then 1 amplifier to power the door speakers. So all in all, I have to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to run 8 wires all together for this system. To remove the front seat, it's the same on both sides. Undo. There's 4 of these which you have to undo, and then there's quite a chunky connector there with a T10, not T10, a 10, no that's not a 10, that looks like an 8 or a 7 mil bolt. Slacken that off all the way, and this entire box will come away from the other connector, and then the seat will just pull out then. It's a bit, well, as you can see, I've done a little bit of scrapes there, but I don't care enough for that. To get the glove box out, this seal here needs to come off. This panel will pry off. There is a bolt behind this panel holding the glove box in. There's another bolt right up in, there's another bolt there and there. That's for my McFlurries. And then there's another 2 bolts right back and then back up. The way I did it was remove this seat and lie on my back with a stubby screwdriver and get them. Once that's done, there's 1 wire connection which you've got to undo for the light, and then the glove box will just pop out then. And then my power wire comes through the grommet back there. I don't know if you can see those coloured wires, and then you can see where the red wire comes through next to them. I've pulled that down. I'm going to cable tie it. I'm going to cable tie it to the wiring loom there, and then there's another bit of trim which covers this, so you won't see that. After a bit of pushing and whatnot, I managed to push it straight through so that it comes out on this side, just there. I'm gonna work out the best way to route it again. I might go straight under the carpet and do the same on that side. I might bring it forward to there, straight across, and then all the way back, or I might run it up over the pedals and then down. But the only thing with that is it's gonna have to be secured properly. I don't want wires getting in the way of the pedals, so I'll see if going down and across is an option first. My line output converter is there. The wires drop down the back. They drop down the back and they come out around there. I've then fed the wires behind this trim panel here, and you can see them here. So there's my two RCA cables there and my remote turn on, which come straight down there, and then I fed them underneath the carpet and they go straight across. Okay, so I've got my speaker wires, front door and back door, my RCA cable for the rear, RCA cable for the front, remote turn on. It goes under here, up there, down behind the wiring loom, down underneath the carpet where I've cable tied it neatly out of the way, all down through there. I've put that back in. Yeah, it's just cable tied down below, down in there. I've put that back in there, and then the door speaker for the rear, I've got a cable tied to the loom there, and then I've just tucked that in. I've just tucked that in there, which is where it will sit until I pull it through the gland into the door. I've run the front speaker wire further all the way down. It's popped out here. I'm going to run this all the way up behind the lever for the door speaker, because the gland, I believe, is right to the front there. So we'll get that done. Once that wire has been run, I can then reinstall the passenger seat, because this side is completely done. Okay, so for this wiring loom, there's two pins there which connect to the car side. I've drilled through the pins which aren't being used, and my speaker cable is going to go through there, straight through to the door. As you can see, I've got the door on the floor here, and then on the other side of the car, on the car side, I'll show you in a minute, but we're using a Dremel tool to grind a notch where the wire can come through next to the flange. I removed the door by releasing this connection. I drilled through empty pins, ran my power wire through here up into the gland, it goes through the gland, comes out here, and I've got it there ready for my speaker. Okay, so I'm in 2015 Focus. It's a Mark III, trying to wire in a line output converter. Spent quite a long time trying to work out the colours, and I was going off this particular loom which goes into the back of the 8-inch screen, and none of the wires were matching up. After a little bit more looking, there's a section of wire here which comes out of the back of the actual CD player, and in this particular loom I've found every single colour as per the wiring diagram that I found online. So I'm going to splice into this one, and hope it's the right one, and it should be, because all of the colours for this one match up with the document online. I'll include the colours that I used. Yeah, but I spent quite a long time looking for the colours on there and couldn't find anything, and then the first one on there had all of them. So this goes straight into the radio, and you've got your antenna wires and your radio wires and whatnot there. Okay, as you can see, I've used the T-taps to tap into all of the speaker wires. This is just going to be temporary. Once I run the system, make sure everything's working properly, I'm going to solder the line output converter into the existing wire. So I'm not going to cut it. And then run the line output out and away. I'm going to have it as that wire going straight up the head unit, and then mine just kind of T-tapped across. That way, when I sell the car, if I sell the car, I don't need to bring this back out to re-solder it, or to remove it, because I'm leaving the OEM wires there. It'll run the door speakers once I take my subwoofers away, because I'm running the doors off a sub, off an amplifier, sorry. So by doing that, so I'll have one wire coming from the harness, and then it's going to split into two. One's going to go straight down to the door speakers as the factory fitted one, and then the other one's going to go to my line output converter, my vibe line output converter, which is then going to go down to the back, which is the amplifier, and then the amplifier is going to have the door speaker wires running back through up to the doors. So I've got all of my wires run to the boot, the interior's back together. The only thing I've got left to do is to attach the wires. Okay, my two RCA cables and my remote wire come in from the back corner there, and go into the amplifier there. You can see the two sets to the right there. This amplifier has a pre-out, so I can then send the signal from this amplifier into the other amplifier. So that one powers the subwoofer, and this powers the door speakers. This amplifier's got a 4-channel 75 watt RMS with the pass-through, and then the power wire comes up through the back corner underneath this this black cover here, below there I've got a distribution block with fuses, as well as a distro block for the ground wires as well. So it is all in and done. It does make the car shake. It's what I'd call obnoxiously loud, but that's what we want, isn't it?